how to with this.
Yes, with that. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's a great honor for me to present today the perspective of pilgrimage in the context of memory, these footprints of memory. And with these two images, I wanted to show both the scale of the phenomenon. The Camino de Santiago is the biggest phenomenon of pilgrimage in our continent, in Europe, which become more and more popular every year. And in this year, I know that we have new records. We passed 500,000 of pilgrims become to Santiago, so it's more and more popular this time. And the network of ancient Roman roads across Europe, and the second picture, and it's interesting that many of modern Camino routes follow these old Roman routes, especially in this part of Europe is very visible in Croatia. So because of this, I suppose also because of this, Council of Europe in 1986 recognized the Camino de Santiago as the first example of cultural road. So it doesn't mean that it meets this pilgrimage and cultural issues. This also John Paul II called Camino de Santiago as roots of European culture. So it's something more than only a phenomenon of pilgrimage. Some religious aspect is one of this aspect of this Camino de Santiago phenomenon. And this, I think, was the important recognition of the Camino as a path of memory. So because we have very long history of this Camino de Santiago pilgrimage in our continent, and it meets also the culture of Europe. And recently I conducted research in Poland about the influence of pilgrimage and on Polish culture. And one of main findings was that pilgrimage routes lead us back to the source of values. So that pilgrims can draw from these sources, bring those values into their lives, and in this very way enrich culture and help it grow. That I find that pilgrimage enrich culture, Polish culture, but I strongly believe that it's more universal way of understanding pilgrimage in also other countries. And on the second up, I don't know how to go follow the presentation because it's not like that. I see.
It's fine. It's fine.
So yes.
Is this?
So I have to.
Yeah.
I have to use this. Thank you. This slide, I want to present the image of the pilgrim, and we can speak about the certain ethos of the pilgrim ethos, a figure, I think. And in this sense, pilgrimage can be understood as an archetype of human destiny and a journey through life. And many researchers follow this idea that the pilgrimage symbolize our life or our journey through our life. And it is one of the most universal symbol of human condition, the traveler, who sees the journey as a source of meaning and values. It is a way to understand ourselves, to experience the sacred, to move toward transcendence and beyond the limits of our ego, because we need to to follow this way and these whole things which we passed create our fortitude through this way, and to search for answers also for our important questions, because pilgrims always maybe recently ask many questions through the. I'm sorry, I did too much. Yes, and on this slide, I want to show that the pilgrimage has always been connected with natural places like mountains, deserts, and caves. In the past also, I think maybe it's something very natural for human condition to find these places, these natural places, to search for these meanings, to these symbols. And on the first, these mountains symbolize approaching towards heaven. For example, Mount Olympus in the ancient times, and Mount Sinai in Judaism. But we have this also in our reality. We find many mounts, many hills with crosses up on the top. I think it's also present this idea to this reaching towards something more than to be on the top on the mountain. And deserts symbolize purification, penance, or trial, like the Judean deserts, where Jesus was tempted and prepared for his mission. So also pilgrims followed the pilgrimage. They find this kind of feelings to penance, to purification, also by these troubles and during the pilgrimage. And caves are symbols of the mystery. For example, Covadonga in Spain, a Marian apparition site, as you've seen in the last picture. But there are more examples of caves, like the symbol of mystery. Also, these ancient caves has these paintings, ancient paintings, symbolize this looking for something more. And on this slide, I want to show, to mention historical sources. For the Camino de Santiago, the most important one is medieval Codex Calixtinus. It's from 11th century. It contains practical advice for pilgrims, songs, story of St. James the Apostle, and on the second book of this codex, 22 miracles of St. James. And such a text, when read by modern pilgrims, also serve as carriers of memory and values, connecting generations of pilgrims and enrich their experience. I want to show also this kind of experiment, this book, which I created, and it offers a modern interpretation of these medieval tales, these 22 miracles of St. James, providing inspiration and guidance for today's pilgrims to maybe to understand how these texts, medieval texts and stories can influence of our generations. It's a kind of living tradition, but I strongly believe that it's something more. In this way, pilgrimage on Camino de Santiago becomes a living heritage. I believe it's good to show like this. each generation leaves something of itself on the road, and the next generation take it up and adding something new in return. So it's a share of values and maybe some spiritual and cultural gifts from that past generations to these modern pilgrims. And on this slide, I want to image. There is a place Alto del Perdón. It's a hill of forgiveness on the Camino de Santiago, Camino Frances, as well-known place on the Camino, but it's more than just a geographical point. It's a very symbolic place. The poetical kind of explanation is where the path of the wind crosses the path of the stars. This sculpture, which is on the picture, represents the countless generations of pilgrims who have passed through. And it's very visible, this idea on this sculpture. According to Paul Ricoeur, memory is not only about remembering the past, it's an active way of shaping who we are. And pilgrims participate by remembering, making their journey a living experience of the sacrum in the present. And Mircea Eliade speaks of returning to sacred time. And Joseph Ratzinger, Benedict XVI, sees tradition as a living memory. So it's something not about this historical tales, but it's something more. It's still living in such a places. Walking the Camino allows pilgrims to connect with faith and history step by step. Each step reflects the memory, turning tradition into a moving and living experience of faith. This can also be seen as an inclusive form of religiosity, because we frequently say about the exclusive form of religiosity, where believers are inside the church and non-believers are outside the church. But the Camino de Santiago shows us that each pilgrim are inside this ritual, but inside this this way, they are welcome on this way. And pilgrimage is not just about ritual, but about personal engagement with memory, tradition, and faith, connecting the past and the present. And the next one is the last slide. Here I want to show an image inspired by creators of this series, The Chosen. And in the image, all the gray fish swim in the same direction. It's a kind of representing our society, but the few blue ones decide to turn around and swim another way. And this nicely illustrates the idea of pilgrimage as a journey towards the source of values. It is not about going with the flow, but rather about swimming against the current, making the effort to move towards the pure water at the source. This was idea from the beginning, from this my previous project in Poland. And in this way, pilgrimage, by stepping out of daily routine, because it's also a kind of escapism, go to the pilgrimage is escapism from our daily life, helps pilgrims find inner clarity and energy also. This maybe also these answers for these important questions. It also builds community. As pilgrims walks together, talk together, and discover the shared purpose. I think it's important also on the pilgrimage for pilgrims. It renews the traditional sense of hospitality also. As we say, the tourist demands much, but the pilgrim gives thanks for everything. That's also the difference among the pilgrims and tourists. So thank you very much for your attention.